Well, we were not ready to play. I mean, I don't think there's any question about that. And I don't want to take anything away from Washington State. They came out aggressive. They came out, played hard, but we weren't ready to play. I mean, you could tell we were late going on the floor to shoot. We were late coming into the locker room. There just wasn't any kind of intensity in terms of the game. You know, my thing's always been knees bouncing. There was no knees bouncing. There was nothing bouncing. So, you know, you worried about that. And frankly, we're not better than anybody if we don't play hard. If we can defend, we're decent. We got a chance. But we were really back on our heels, non-aggressive to the basket, the whole thing. So, you know, we were, you know, ran the risk of getting down a whole bunch in the first half. Fortunately, we got back, had a nice little run. Dave got a couple fouls, and you know, so we took him out. But I mean, there was a play in the second half where Richard went after the ball on the offensive glass, which I think was typified how we weren't ready to play. It was the first time that I had actually seen us go after a ball like it meant something, and it was in the second half. That was the first time I actually thought, well, there's a guy that's trying to play, and that kind of thing kind of got us turned around. We got out on the break. We were 12-3, assist turnover in the second half. We moved the ball. We ran the break. Did a better job.
What kind of adjustments do you make defensively between halves?
Didn't. It was guarded. I mean, we just played hard. I mean, we didn't. There was no adjustments that needed to be made. We just did. We were just standing there. We were. They were rebounding the ball. The stuff they ran, we knew exactly what it was they were going to run. They got some offensive rebounds. They got to the basket. They made some tough shots. We just weren't playing hard enough. There was nothing that we needed to do differently, other than just play hard and start defending people.
How excited do you think your guys need to go to LA?
I don't think 5-0 has anything to do with it. I just think, you know, the LA guys are obviously always excited to go down there. You know, we've got a Wednesday, Sunday, so it's going to be a little different schedule. We're going to go down and come back after the game on Wednesday, so we can be in class Thursday and Friday, and then go back for UCLA. And you know, every game is going to be really, really important. But obviously, going down and taking care of business and being mentally prepared against SC is going to be every bit as important as anything else. So we've just got to win as many games as we can, and that's this whole league is about that. You know, UCLA lost at Utah today, so that's a hard road trip. We've all chronicled that, where your second night on that road trip is really hard. And Don McLean, prior to the game, had talked about how it was going to be hard for them, you know, Utah second night. Kids are kids. They just don't look at things the same way. And Larry's done a heck of a job with that program. That's a great win for them.
Once again, you got contributions from your bench in different ways. How gratifying is that as a coach to know that you have guys that can come in for a short time and contribute?
Well, I think what that lends itself to a little bit is credibility, or accountability, I should say. If a guy's just not playing hard, we've got to have the guts to take a guy out and put somebody else in there. And the more that those guys coming off the bench can produce, then the more likely we are to do that. And so I thought that, you know, Christian was okay, and Jeff, you know, Jeff Smart always does what he does. Jabari made some plays. Jabari just needs time. Losing that 3.5 weeks was such a critical time for him. But we did get some contributions off the bench. Big Cam went in, going 6 for 6, you know, and probably the one rebound that he got that stood out was he actually went up and got it. I mean, it looked like he moved and got it.
You seem to have a well-balanced team. How much of it is talent? How much of it is chemistry?
Well, you can't. Chemistry is always important. You know, when we share the ball, everybody wants to score. Everybody wants to score. I mean, there's no question about it. We share the ball and guys get baskets and get easy baskets, then they tend to play harder. So that's critical. If they don't think they're going to get the ball, if they're open, then they don't play as hard. So that part is chemistry, and I'm trying to get them to trust each other and understand that you will get some good looks if you'll just play the game and let the game come to you. So, but at the same time, we've got some kids that can play. Justin's been very good. He's really playing good basketball. Tyrone's playing very good basketball. Richard, David, we've you know, the 4 guys that have been around, the veterans, are really playing good basketball. You know, Jordan was good. He had three assists. Didn't force shots. You know, then we can start bringing people and spotting people based on how they're playing. So, but we've got some kids that can play.
Mike, you've talked in the past about how sometimes they don't play defense unless they're making shots. Are they starting to get the idea that their defense can create?
I wouldn't say that was the case tonight. I think they were, you know, they get lazy. You know, they want to not play as hard. Defense is hard. Defense takes effort. Defense takes heart, and sometimes they don't want to expend that energy to get stops. You know, we started second half, we were playing hard, but we probably played 4 minutes of defense. They got, you know, we got a foul, they got an offensive rebound, and we need to, if we're going to put that kind of energy, we need to get the ball, get it out and go and play. And I didn't think we did that. But, you know, we're not perfect. Most people aren't. We make mistakes. As long as we're learning and figuring it out, I mean, I would say to a guy, if you weren't ready to play tonight and you knew you weren't, all right, what do you do next time that's different? What do you do next time that's different than what you did tonight to get yourself prepared? And that's where it takes some soul searching. You got to think about, okay, I really wasn't ready to play. Why, and what do I need to do to change that? Generally what we do is, you know, like if you were a football player, you'd go hit somebody and get yourself rocked. So you say, oh, I better play or I'm going to get my head knocked off. You know, it's the same thing. You need to get a loose ball, you know, go get a rebound in traffic, make contact, do something. And it starts at the defensive end. So we're still, I think, learning that.
When you send in Behrens, what do you look to get out of him in the time he was in there?
Well, Christian actually has gotten better at finishing around the basket. You know, he had a couple of rebounds, had a couple others I thought he could have gotten. But, you know, other than Cameron, we really don't have another big guy. Christian's not big, but he's 6'9" maybe with shoes on. We don't really have another big guy. Christian goes in and gives us some movement, and a guy that's big that kind of knows what he's doing. He's in his 3rd year here. So, and I thought he's gotten better because the knee swelled up after Wednesday. So Thursday we weren't able to practice him, and we're going to have that all year long. That's going to be, we have to watch him in that regard.
Can you talk a little bit more about Wallace and his maturation process? He's been averaging more than anyone.
Well, I'm not too concerned about average. What I'm concerned about is we've taken him and we've put him on a guard and utilized his size. Excuse me. And he's quick enough to keep the guard out of the paint, but his size then keeps that guard from doing much because he's big. And that's really helped us. I thought it really helped against Goss, for example. The size bothered Goss. So, and, you know, he's been making shots. He was 1 for 4 today from 3, but he's been making shots. And he's done a great job of getting to the basket. I mean, he's just doing a little bit of everything. Only had 3 rebounds, and that's another thing he can do. He does a little bit of everything. He's been a really good player.
Mike, you're the player Richard, where you have a pretty good sense that you're going to get something out of him.
Richard?
Yeah.
Richard's, you know, maturing. What I told him at one point, I said, I'm looking at your face and I'm just seeing a blank slate. I don't see a lot of emotion here. I don't see a lot of, you know, wanting to do certain things. He got a shot block late, ended up with 3, but I thought there was a couple others he could have got. I thought could have been more of a shot blocking presence inside. So, you know, again, it was just this notion. I don't know. I mean, 1 o'clock game Saturday, Washington State got beat bad on, you know, I mean, it's like this whole thing of, what do I need to do here to get this thing over with? I think there was a sense of that across the board. I mean, you know.
Richard, though, sometimes hasn't, he played too emotionally. There's gotta be a nice fine line.
Yeah, there is. You know, he needs touches, but like I said, like anybody else, he's got to work to get the ball in effective areas. I thought we had, I don't know, any number of possessions where guys caught the ball and just kind of shot it, just because, rather than get themselves, work to get in a spot where they're going to get plays. Now, what we did do is we had some nice penetration and drops, and Richard got some dunks, which really helped get him going a little bit. And but that's, you know, at the end of the day, if he didn't get any shots and it was all drop-offs and offensive rebounds, he's still going to end up with double-double. And that's what we'd like him to be able to do.
How big do you think that kind of a behind-the-back pass from Cobbs in transition, that kind of got you guys out of that 8 to 10 hole?
Well, it got crowd going a little bit too. There wasn't a whole lot for the crowd to get too excited about. It was a nice play. I mean, again, that was a play that he recognized. One, I have to work to get it, and two, he knew that Ty was, you know, stripped going down the floor. So, again, he's a fifth-year senior that is, you know, an all-conference player. That he's a good player, and he needs to do that and do whatever it takes in his position to get us to have a chance to win.